All right. Another week, another Center Circle podcast, episode 121. I'm here with Isaac. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, my friend.
Today, usual Premier League roundup. We're going to talk through the Manchester City v Liverpool game. The game was exciting in ways I, to be honest, didn't expect. Sunderland's 2-2 draw with Arsenal. Aston Villa's 4-0 win over Birmingham. West Ham's 3-2 win over Burnley. West Ham now winning 2 games on a bounce. Brentford's 3-1 win over Newcastle. We talked about them in the last episode. We'll get to Newcastle and Mr. Howe. And Spurs' eventful 2-2 draw with Manchester United. And Bremer means business up there. It's a shame the rest of his team doesn't. Anyway, to their first game, Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. 3 goals across the first and second half. Haaland with a header in the 29th minute after he missed a penalty. We'll come to that in a second. Nico Gonzalez, who was excellent, scoring in injury time of first half. And then Jeremy Doku capping off a wonderful performance with a goal in the 63rd minute. Look, I think it's easy to focus largely on Manchester City for a result like this, but I think a lot of the conversation is going to be around Liverpool and the overall run of form they're in. Isaac, I mean, how did you read this game?
To be honest, I wasn't surprised that we lost.
Okay.
I know we had a small uptick, beating Villa and then obviously beating Real Madrid midweek. And I know Keith was quite vocal in the fact that he thought we'd do quite well.
Yeah, he thought, to be fair to me,
over this last week.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And exactly. So he thought he
2
said
wins in a draw.
Exactly. He said
WWD.
He said we'd get the win of it, get Villa, beat Madrid, and then draw with City. And I was obviously saying I'd be surprised if we came away with 1 draw out of the 3. So, but I had a feeling we wouldn't beat City. And to be honest, we looked, and also coming off the back of the Madrid game, there was also the fear that we'd exerted too much effort and focus on beating Madrid.
Yes.
And wouldn't have enough time to recover and then also switch our focus to Man City. Considering that the form that we've been in, it was just, for me, a step too far.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And you can see that in the result today. I think the way Pep set City up, the way it looked like it was just to exploit our weakest areas in defense, which are our fullbacks at the moment. We know Robertson hasn't been, his output, his physical output is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
So when you pair him up against Ryan Cherky, who's young, fresh, fit,
comes in on the inside as well. He's not going to try and take him on the outside.
He's not an athlete,
by
any stretch of the in terms of what we would consider Doku, who was on the other side. But he's very elusive.
Yeah.
So that's a problem within itself, right? And I think that Robertson, he gave a good account of himself, but City were quite comfortable. But the biggest problem was Doku the Demon.
Yes.
That guy right there.
This season, the intent is playing with the decision making and the execution of those decisions. It's night and day from what we've seen before this season.
And it was always going to be a case of the moment he finally locks down the execution, we are going to see something special. Because I remember seeing him before he signed to City. I think it was a Belgium game. It might have even been a Rennes game. And I said, this kid is electrifying. And then City popped up at City. And I said, I can't wait to see what he does. And it was always beat the player, but the end product, the cross might be wayward.
I found that he got a lot to. He would face up the fullback, but then turn around and recycle the ball.
Yeah.
He was doing the Jack Grealish again. Well, not a Jack Grealish. He ended up doing what we've now found Jack Grealish to be doing once he got to City, which was a little bit disappointing. And maybe some of that is confidence. Maybe he didn't feel confident.
Well, what I found interesting was watching CBS midweek. You know, the question was posed to him about his relationship with Thierry Henry, and he was like, "Look, when I go to Thierry and get advice, the advice he gives me is advice that everyone else doesn't normally give. They'll say something, but they don't present solutions.
Yeah.
So they'll say, this is your problem.
Yeah.
But they won't give you
a solution
to work on it.
Nice.
So I think it was a case of, look, Thierry said, look, this is where your problem is, your end product, but these are the things I think you should work on. And you're starting to see it in his output so far this season. And it was just a case that it was just a matter of time before it all married up. And today was just exhibition A. I felt sorry for Conor Bradley because he was on an island.
and it's crazy because he got so much praise kind of for the last 2 games. And it's almost like he got I don't want to say a reality check, because at the end of the day, you're playing Real Madrid. That's, as big as it gets. And you're not playing against small players there, right? Yeah. But I think it's almost a thing where at this level, it's all well and good, but every game you got to come back again at the top. So yeah, very interesting from that point of view. Nico Gonzalez, again, I think he's had a great game, and he's someone. He's starting to find his feet, starting to be a big part of Manchester City, quietly going about things. And then the way Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva, I was going to say David Silva, and Bernardo Silva, the positions they were taking up, again, it was like old school free flowing when David Silva was there. And it's just, they were going wherever they wanted. It seemed like they didn't really have any restrictions because, wherever they get the ball, they're going to use it properly. So you had the situation where they're just causing havoc because who's picking them up? Where are they going? And then they just turn up somewhere they're not supposed to be, and then you've just got this overload.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And also, the key thing as well, it felt a little bit like old City, right? They were making those incisive passes. They were crisp. They were going where they were meant to go. If a guy's 2 yards away from you and he's in between 2 defenders, they're making the pass. So Manchester City started quite quickly.
Very quickly. Straight out the gate.
We're talking about Doku. He wins that penalty. Even though he should have cut that, he should have cut it back. But he wins that penalty, which was kind of a sign of the chaos he was going to cause. The normally reliable Haaland misses it. You could hear all the FPL managers screaming,
up in arms, yeah.
screaming. But credit to him, gets forgets about it, and then he scores the opener. But when you watch the replay, he didn't know much about it.
No, but the fact of the matter is he got on the end of the cross.
Yeah,
right?
True. It looked a little bit fortunate.
My only issue with that passage of play is Konate and allowing him to.
Yeah.
As a defender, the striker shouldn't see your number. Because if he sees your number, that means you can't see the ball and him. You can only see the ball, so he's already got an advantage over you. And that was the case. The ball's whipped in. Konate's back. He don't know where Haaland is. Haaland's just got the leap on him. So that was my only issue there with that passage of play. It's just like, come on, man, you have to do better. And even so, if the strikers manage to get that run on you, the fullback needs to get in and just. I don't want to put anything on Conor Bradley but just there needs to be some sufficient cover or like these are all things that we, as a defensive unit, you have to work on together.
Manchester City are in gear, but it wasn't all one-way traffic. You know, Van Dijk scores a header that's disallowed.
Shouldn't have been disallowed.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so because, when he scores a header, there's a player in front of the keeper. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Doku, maybe.
Robertson.
No, the Man City player.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Doku. I'm not entirely sure. But there's a Man City player in front of the keeper. And then Robertson is in the box as well. He's just leaving the box. He is in an offside position. But when you look at the angle of the goal from behind Van Dijk, and you're facing the goal, mate, it's the Man City player that's in the keeper, that's in Donnarumma's highline, not the Liverpool player. So these are the moments where I'm not saying that Man City wouldn't have gone on to win, and they started very quickly, but you get that goal there, it settles you down a little bit, and when that goal went in, I thought, okay, this is the draw I was expecting to come and see. I thought it was going to be a draw today, honestly. I thought it might be a bit of a punching match, but I thought 2-2 draw, cool.
Yeah.
Because neither team is defending fantastically at the moment, right? But yeah, that gets disallowed, and I don't think that was a correct decision.
No, not at all.
I don't think that was a correct decision. But if you're City, we got away with one there.
Let's go and punish them.
Let's go. And it's interesting, the commentary, they were saying, it just gone half time. I mean, just hit 45 minutes, 7 minutes injury time, and they were saying, you know what, Liverpool look a bit in disarray here. Let's hit them. So, without going over old ground, I think this loss kind of says there's something more general here. It's not a form thing, right? You can win 2 games in a week, but in the league, that's what, 5 losses out of your 6 games? Your last 6 games?
Yeah.
What does Liverpool need? Because again, Van Dijk, you would argue, was at fault for the deflected goal. It was just a lazy, you leave your leg out. You're like, where's the intent with the block?
Do you know what, for me, right?
What do you guys need?
The biggest difference here, the biggest issue here for me is whatever Slot is trying to implement tactically wise, tactically, it's either too far of a jump. It's too far removed from what Klopp had instilled in the team, which the players had become used to, or we just don't have the personnel in order to execute his game plan, right? And I think for me, one of the biggest gaps in our team is the DM. And we was desperately trying to get a DM at the start of last season.
Yes.
But we couldn't. We tried to get Zubimendi, but he ended up going to Arsenal. And then it was too late in the market to get someone
at a reasonable cost. Yeah,
exactly. So we stuck with Gravenberch, and who in that system he was perfect.
Yeah.
But I think for Slot's system, which is a lot more slower and controlled and more zonal, and it's about possession and rotation, I don't think Gravenberch is the player for the DM role. I think what we actually need is a player in the mold of a Fabinho or a Caicedo.
Or Zubimendi.
Or even Zubimendi himself. But to be fair, not so much Zubimendi, because does Zubimendi do that for Arsenal? Sidebar, does Zubimendi do the role of a Fabinho or Caicedo, a destroyer for Arsenal?
Yes, he does.
He's a breaker.
Yeah, he does. Okay, and that's why you're seeing a little bit, you're seeing more of the Declan Rice behaviour without it costing us in front of our defence.
Okay, so then
he does it in a different way, but that's his job. Yeah.
So okay, so then with the mold of a
disciplinary record.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so in the mold of those kind of players, maybe that's why Slot identified, or whoever it was in the recruitment team identified Zubimendi. So I think. And
sorry, just on that one, you would bring that player in, and it's Gravenberch that will come out of the team, not McAllister.
So now here's the other conundrum that we have. So McAllister, although technically very sound, he doesn't have the legs of a Szoboszlai and a Gravenberch.
And that's where Caicedo seems to excel, because he's got the legs and he's got the technicality.
And the understanding and awareness to break up play, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that Gravenberch doesn't have that. I just think his style of play is different. He's more of what they call now a pivot, in the sense of receive the ball, turn, progress.
Yeah. And it's too easy to act like Gravenberch is falling off. Well, actually, no, it's not that he's falling off because he's falling off. It just, the way they're playing now doesn't suit him as well as it did last season.
It's kind of like when Arsenal had Rice in that role before Zubimendi arrived, there was, I don't want to say clear.
Was exposure.
There was exposure because he couldn't quite necessarily do the role of a breaker and also someone that can progress the ball forward.
The marauder.
So now you've brought in Zubimendi. You've seen now what Declan Rice can do in terms of progressing the ball forward because he has the legs to do box to box essentially. And then Zubimendi's giving him that freedom to do so. So I think what we need is more so than going out and spending money on Verts and Isak and fullbacks. And what also baffled me is how could we say we need a DM last season and all of a sudden the window comes and we go, oh, we don't need one. No, we still needed one.
Yeah.
Because you also said Gavin Birch is not at the player we want for that role, but you went out and spent. So yeah, I think for me, so far this season, even in the 5 games where we won, it's still clear that we are missing something in the middle of the park. And just off the last few games, and especially today, for me,
that's the key area.
That area right there.
And overall, is the title race over for you guys?
I would say so. To lose 5 games, the last time a team lost 5 games and won the league title was 2013, Fergie's last season.
Boy. I mean, it's only 8 points, man.
I know, I understand that, but the form that Arsenal are in...
27 games to go.
The form that Arsenal are in...
Fair enough. The Liverpool saga continues. But I think the City quietly going about the business is over. When you beat Liverpool 3-0 like that, it's not quiet anymore.
No.
So yeah, I think it's now a Man City Arsenal ding dong. And after Arsenal's result, Liverpool losing is the result I wanted, but it's not the result I needed. Let's put it that way. Anyway, moving on. Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2. High flying Sunderland holding Arsenal to a 2-2 draw at home. The reaction to this result has been interesting because it's almost seemed that Arsenal not getting a win was some kind of failure. But I think if you watch Sunderland play this season, no one should have expected Arsenal to go there and clean up.
100%.
So some of that's agenda, some of that is whatever. But I definitely wasn't expecting Arsenal to go there and clean up. And true to that, Arsenal went a goal behind. Sunderland just showed what they've been showing all season. Obviously, Arsenal coming there in the form they were in, haven't conceded a goal in the whole month of October, etc. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's all well and good. It's a stadium of like, we're here to show that we belong, and they made a really good fight of it as well. And I think the one main thing I took from yesterday's game was the influence of Xhaka on that Sunderland team.
I said it.
The influence.
I said it.
You did. The influence of Xhaka on that Sunderland team.
I think he's going to go down as the best signing of the season.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because the way, if you're watching the game, the orchestration he was doing, pointing here, go here, and he's not telling people to do stuff. No, he's doing it too. He's pressing and saying, "No, you're coming with me." Mm-hmm. And the energy that team had all the way. It's no surprise they're scoring in the 94th minute the way they're scoring. And again, it was kind of back and forth. Sunderland take the lead, 36th minute. Saka equalises with a fantastic near post finish. Normally, I'm critical of goalkeepers, but he shot that so clean and true. It couldn't have been any nearer the post without hitting it if he tried. Trossard, again, fantastic goal in the 74th minute. After a period of Arsenal being very dominant, pressure in Sunderland, they had 5-6 men in the box. Almost the entire time Arsenal had possession. And Trossard finally made some space and again beat the keeper near post, but top bins. I don't know if you can blame the keeper too much for that one. He's not expecting a shot there. And then Bobby gives Gabriel a taste of his own medicine.
That was like, do you know what that looked like? It looked like when Drogba used to manhandle Senderos.
And the funny thing is, it's not even like he manhandled him. It's just that it was more equal. Normally, when Gabriel is dealing with certain players, apart from Haaland, he's normally the stronger one or he's a little bit quicker with the aggression. This guy said, no. Today, It's me and you. But ultimately, for that goal, I blame Raya.
Why?
I think it was rashing coming out. The ball wasn't at a height that you as a keeper needs to be coming out and tackling. And there was nothing about that passage of play that says I am the most likely winner of this ball in this situation.
I agree. I think he stays on his line. It's a case of Robbie has to do something amazing to beat Gabriel there. Because let's say Gabriel, like you said, Gabriel's applying pressure. Your first touch has to be like Ronaldinho on them YouTube videos, or Gabriel has to do a madness and pull you down or something to give you. Yeah, I agree with you.
But to your point, he has to do something that it's undeniable that it's more about him execute well than you make a mistake.
Yeah.
You come out there and don't get me wrong, the finish was fantastic. The way he was under all that pressure. So he might have even got a pen if he missed, to be honest, right? But that flick is nothing if you're standing on your line.
Yeah, I agree. I
you
agree.
know? So, look, rush of blood to the head. He has them a lot less now, but I saw a lot again. Gabriel's been lauded a lot. He's been talked a lot. So as it is now in football culture, that's the first person you got to chop down. But if we're all being real, he's not that he had his best game, but I wouldn't put him at fault for the equalizer. Defenders have up every now and again. That it's a fact of life as a centre back. People are now showing videos of Van Dijk, this or this player that. Name your 10 best greatest centre backs. I can find you 5-10 clips of them getting have up.
Easy.
Yes, it happens, right?
Easy.
So Raya's not helped out his defense there, but it's a draw. I think the other piece there is it's going to be interesting to see how Sunderland, kind of take this form and go through. We've seen promoted teams do this before. First 10, 15 games in the run up to Christmas do really, really well. Take up a unexpected league place, and then after Christmas, it gets tricky. So I'm always intrigued to see how these teams, how long they can carry it on.
I think what I'm happy about with the Sunderland and what the new manager's done is build a team around Xhaka, give him the captaincy.
Yep.
And then just say, right,
literally, straight away.
Literally, he walked in and said, right, you're my captain. You're gonna, I think you've got the experience and the leadership qualities to lead this team and carry us forward. And it's working so far.
Yeah, no.
He's built. I think they said it was 14 new players came in.
And normally we say that's a bad thing.
And 7 of those players were in the starting lineup against Arsenal.
Crazy.
So for him to get them all singing to a new song in harmony, he's done a great job.
And this is the manager that got them promoted, right?
Yeah. He's done a great job.
There you go. Last one also, I think people are critical of Mikel Arteta's game management at the end.
Inviting the pressure.
Yeah. But we're at a stage now where those kind of decisions mean you draw.
Yeah.
As opposed to losing. As opposed to losing. So yeah, international break now, they can regroup. But I think this result's more about us, more about Sunderland kind of showing a level than Arsenal not beating them, which is normally the easy narrative. Anyway, moving on. Aston Villa 4, Bournemouth 0. Unai Emery. Well. I mean, you made a comment to me earlier, which I think is important with games like this. The score flatters the actual performance. It wasn't a 4-0 game when you were watching it.
No, not by any means. It was one of those games where on any day it could have gone either way. But it just seemed to go in Villa's favour today. Bournemouth just looked goal shy. It didn't quite seem to click for their star players. Evan Nilsson. I just don't know what was
anonymous. I say anonymous.
Basically, he was just a body on the pitch. Semenyo, for all the rich form that he's been in, he again couldn't impact the game.
Well, he missed a penalty as well, no?
Yeah. Which was shocking, but it summed up his performance. I think, off the back of the England call-up, Alex Scott had a decent game. Tyler Adams, I'm a big fan of his, and just his style of play. But again, there wasn't a notable impact on the game. I think a lot of their passages of play seemed to go through Tavernier out on the left. But Villa they had their banks of 4, and it was just they couldn't break them down, and just kept getting caught out. I mean, the goal came from the free kick. Buendia's free kick came from a ball over the top, a route one over the top. The young lad that came on, Jimenez. Let me just get his name. Yeah, Jimenez, young lad that came on for Adam Smith, who went off with a concussion sub.
10 minutes in, yeah.
Route one over the top. He's been caught out, fouled. He had to do it because 2 more steps and Wendy is in the box, so he had to do it. Free kick, top bins. So it was a weird game. I mean, 4-0. If you ask me what was the score and I say 4-0, you're gonna think, oh
yeah, it was a beating.
It was a beating.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It wasn't a beating by any stretch.
Yeah, because you look at the stats. Possession was fairly even. Villa had 51%. Just under 52%. Total shots 16. Villa had double the shots on target. So yeah, you're right. If you're just looking at it from a just take a look at the stats. If anything, Villa looked like the slightly more dominant team, to be honest, in terms of trying to affect the game. Definitely from an attacking point of view. Interestingly, Unai Emery subbed 3 out of his 4 midfielders on the 71st minute. I mean, I don't know what was going on. I obviously didn't watch the game, but he subbed on Ross Barkley, Yuri Tillemans, and Jadon Sancho, 71st minute. Took off Onana, Buendia, and McGinn. And I mean, when you look at those 3, it's not even one specific idea there. Yes, Ross Barkley now, he's not the most enigmatic midfielder. Tielemans, kind of keeping his field secure, and Jadon Sancho's an attacking threat. So I don't know. Maybe he wanted to go for it because McGinn and Onana are probably a bit more safer pair of hands. And then Camara comes off on the 81st minute for Daniel Marlon. So yeah, I think Emery smart blood and said, I need this, we need to keep this going. I need this win.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how Bournemouth recover from this, right? Because it's been largely positive conversation about Bournemouth, how well they're doing, they sold players regardless, etc., etc. But that's 2 losses on the bounce now for them. And, in the last 5 games, they've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. So let's just see where this form is going. Villa, that's 4 wins in the last 5. They're up to 6th. And they're cooking now. Cooking. Leeds next, who are not having the best of times. So, yeah, fair play to Unai Emery. But this is almost his story, right? It's up, then it's down, then it's up, then it's down. So let's see how long he can sustain this kind of form. Bournemouth have got West Ham next, who are feeling kind of bouncy now. All right. Speaking of which, West Ham, Burnley, 3-2. I have a little look out for these results because as much as I think Nuno's football is not the best to watch, I want him to do well there, Want him to do well down there.
Well, they are currently sitting above Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, fair.
And you know what? You ask Nuno, what's your goals for the season? What's your aims? And of course, as a manager of the club, he's going to come out and he's going to say, we want to finish mid-table, get a decent run, blah 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 blah. But deep down, the one goal that matters to him, finish above Nottingham Forest.
Do you know how sweet? Hey. Now, can you imagine being him in May?
Hey.
And he's above. I don't care if he's above Forest on goal difference. You see, when the league table is finalized. 38 games.
Listen,
If he's above Forest, nah. How would he? I don't know how he resists the pettiness. I would have to write something. I would write something mad on social media if I was him.
that press conference.
And he's a guy. He's not afraid to. He says certain things in press conferences when he's ready. You see that press conference, or he gets to the 38th game and they can't catch him. You know, they're out of reach points wise. They're 4 points behind. Listen, I'm saying something mad. I'm saying something petty.
Same way.
I might all wear a top with Marinakis on it.
Hey, same way.
He won't do that.
I mean, to be fair to West Ham, I think they needed this win to kind of not necessarily rubber stamp, oh, we're back, but you know, you get a good result beforehand. You want to kind of lock that consistency in, or just at least say, okay, it's not a blip, right? You know, we've got a run, we've got another one, we've got building blocks off of.
It's the first time they've won back
to move forward on, right?
First time they've won back-to-back games in over a year, so that kind of tells you where they were. No, I agree, and even when you look at who scored, you know, Callum Wilson scoring the equaliser,
and then came out and said, "Yeah, I've got my eyes on the World Cup."
Well, you know,
listen,
you got to talk it.
Aim for the stars,
bruv, you got to talk it.
I know, but
you got to talk it.
Okay.
And as much as I've said stuff about him in the past, when he's playing and he's not injured, he can get consistent, right? He scores all kind of goals. So from a West Ham point of view, him scoring needed. Souček chips in with a goal, which he's not done so much of lately, and then Kyle Walker-Peters again. And I think a home win for West Ham, they just need to keep pressing on, letting Nuno keep doing his thing. Burnley, I mean, they take the lead, and then it just kind of falls apart for them, right? They get a consolation in the 97th minute, makes things a bit spicy, but I don't know. Did I put them in my relegation predictions? I'd have to check. And they're not having a terrible time, but yeah, they've lost 3 out of the last 5, 1-2. Just above the relegation zone with 10 points above West Ham. So that was a big win for West Ham. I remember the last time we spoke, I said, look, they're 3 points away. That's a big gap relegation to the rest of the table. They've closed it now. And they've kind of dragged Burnley right back into it. So yeah, it's super compressed down there. From 19th, you know, all the way up to Newcastle in 14th, you know, separated by 3 points.
I think what you're going to see now with like Leeds and Burnley is now that the honeymoon phase is over of being in the league.
Yeah.
You're going to now start to see that the squad depth and the quality of the squads is just not good enough.
Agreed. And I think for Newcastle and Fulham, they need to be careful, man. This is not the area of the table they should be languishing in at all. Everton, you know, ahead of Newcastle by 3 points, ahead of Fulham by 4 points. So there's a little separation kind of gathering there. So they need to be careful. And it'll be interesting to see how this sort of 14th to 19th block is looking come mid-December.
Yeah.
Good result for West Ham. Still a lot of work to do, but good result for them. Brentford. Oh, Brentford. I might owe somebody an apology. I might owe Brentford's manager an apology. Brentford win 3-1 at home, beating Newcastle. They were losing 1-0 at half time, but lo and behold, they went on to secure the game. Thiago with 2 goals, penalty and an injury time. Follow up, Harvey Barnes putting Newcastle in front in the first half.
I don't think Eddie Howe trusts the squad outside of what he would deem his strongest 11 players.
Yeah.
Because they played midweek and he made one change to the squad that travelled away to Brentford.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're travelling to Leeds or Burnley or Wolves or Fulham or whoever it may be. You're travelling away to a team that is in form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've played Champions League midweek. and now you've come to a team that's in form. You need to start trusting the bench. You need the players that didn't play midweek. At least three or four of them should have got a start today.
He made 4 subs in the 77th minute. He was forced to do an early sub in the 24th minute. It looks like, for Joe Linton. But mate, I guess Keith's argument is almost proved right. He's saying the squad isn't deep enough to deal with Europe and the league. But I'm with you. I just think it's the management of the team.
Yeah.
You have to rotate. You spent money on Elanga. You didn't do anything about Joe Willett. You spent money to bring in Jacob Ramsey. So I agree. I think he feels the drop off between his first 11 and the bench is too far.
But then that's your job as a manager to mitigate that, right?
Well, he would argue some of the job is with above him to get in players that close that gap.
No, and I'm just talking about like in the moment, performance-wise. So like, okay, cool. I don't have if I'm starting Ramsey or Willock instead of Joe Linton and Bruno.
Yeah,
they're different players or different profiles. So let me tweak the way we play a little bit to suit the players that are coming in, or just find ways to work with what you have. That's your job as a manager.
Yeah,
and what really frustrates me, and what frustrated me, and not to harp back onto Slot or whatever, is when a manager will have players on the bench but choose not to use them because they think there's a lack of trust.
Yeah.
Find a way. That's your job as the coach.
100%.
You have a back room full of staff or analysts, as most clubs do. Find a way.
And you can't tell me out of that entire bench, he made one change. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, look at some of these stats. Possession-wise, pretty even. Newcastle took 5 shots in total. Brentford took 15. 7 shots on target. Newcastle 1 shot on target. The goal, basically. 1 big chance created. Like, dismal. Absolutely dismal performance.
He needs to. They need for the resources that Newcastle have.
Yep.
And the direction in which they want to travel.
Yeah.
He needs to step it up big time.
No, I agree. And I think it was you that made the point last time. It's all well and good saying the squad there, etc. But we see it so often. Someone else comes in, and with the same squad, same players, with slightly different ideas, etc. You see a difference. And it's not that we're saying Eddie Howe's not a good manager. We're saying right now, he's not doing as well as he could be doing with that squad. And finally, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 2. The resurgent Manchester United. I mean, my man's not getting his haircut anytime soon.
No, it's not happening.
The counter's got to start again.
It's not happening. They say that Richarlison needs to start taking his shirt off when he scores.
It's bad luck.
They lose.
Bad luck.
Or they don't win.
Yeah.
They don't win.
I mean, from a neutral point of view, it was a fantastic end to that game. From a performance point of view, shocking defending. And Bremer puts Manchester United ahead on the 32nd minute, which, holds the fort for most of the game. Tell equalizes for Spurs in the 84th minute. And at that point, the swing, the momentum seems to be with Spurs. Lo and behold, Richarlison gives Spurs the lead in the 91st minute. That should be it, says the Arsenal fan whose team drew Sunderland in injury time. But that should be it. But Matthias de Ligt turns up at the back post with what might be the easiest back post header you will get as the losing team in injury time. The one time everyone and their mum should be in that box. You should be there. Your siblings should be there. Your auntie should be there. One of the tallest players in Manchester United's team is giving a free header at the back post. And we've just talked a lot about what a manager should and shouldn't be doing. You see, at that time, as a manager, what do you do? What are you doing? It's them lot. Sort yourself out.
Yeah, it's poor.
It's poor.
poor
Like, they needed
organisation,
that
poor
with the
defending. Poor.
That could have been a really big home win.
Yep.
Fair play to United. They kept going. And it's an easy thing to say, but these are the kind of situations where people say, you know, previous to the confidence in the team and the wins, these are the games they lose.
Exactly.
All right. But they kept going. You know, you deliver the ball well. Without a good delivery, that doesn't happen. So yeah. The Man United resurgence stops, but you know, much like the Arsenal Sunderland game, not a loss, a point each. Spurs in fifth with 18 points, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw from their last 5. I think the deeper thing about Spurs' result is another home game where you didn't get the 3 points. And for Man United, in 7th, level on points. So Spurs, Aston Villa, and Man United all level on points, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I don't think I've seen Amarin form like this. Everton next. Not an easy game, but the form they're in, they'll fancy themselves.
It's the game they should win, considering the quality of their squad.
Yeah.
In regards to form, maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, Everton are only 3 points behind them, so they need to win that game.
And that's why it's a game they should win. So
well, they can't lose it anyway.
Yeah.
They don't lose that game. They need to keep that gap. For Spurs, you know,
their biggest problem, they need a striker.
Yeah.
They need someone who's going to come in and put the ball in the back of the net at least 15 times in the season.
I agree.
And that should, in theory, be the missing piece to the puzzle.
But
they've got a decent squad.
Yeah.
They've got one of the best defenders in the league at the moment, in terms of form. Maybe not ability, but in terms of form and what he's producing. They have, you know, they've got decent fullbacks in Jed Spence, Pedro Porro, Destiny Udogie. Their midfield is not shy of decent talent. I mean, obviously they just brought in Javi Simmons, Rodrigo Bentancur, Pape Matar Sarr.
Yep.
Kudus. So they're just missing
Solanke.
But even Solanke, I don't know.
But he's a 12 to 15 a season goal, man. Apparently, if the rumors are to be true, I know he's been injured. Frankie's not feeding him, apparently.
Really?
But I don't think he's got the luxury of not feeding him, to be honest. Because Kolo Muani is not it. I've told people about this guy from early. He's not it. He is not it. He played well. He plays well, and he does a lot of things right. But he misses a hell of a lot of chances. He misses a lot of chances. And I'm not sure he's the answer.
Yeah.
So they've tried. You know, you pay the money you pay for Solanke. You then bring in Kolo Muani. You try bringing people around them. Maddison got injured. You brought in Simmons. You know, they tried. It didn't seem like Frank was having Johnson initially, but here we are starting games. But yeah, you're right. I think Solanke is their best chance of getting goals. I don't know when he's back. I'm not even sure what injury he has, but they need some cutting edge.
Yeah.
And Simmons hasn't found his feet quite yet. Richarlison is not it. He just isn't it. He'll work hard for the team. He'll be a nuisance, but you need consistent cutting edge quality. So yeah, as the weekend wraps up, Manchester City are now 4 points behind the leaders Arsenal following their win over Liverpool. Chelsea are now up to third following their 3-0 win over Wolves, who got rid of their manager in the last week. They've got interim management there, but he's going to be announced tomorrow. We're recording on Sunday. João Pedro, who has started to find form now that he's not playing the 9, and Neto with Chelsea's goals. Everton beat Fulham 2-0. Again, the kind of jumbling up in that part of the table is crazy. Jussier Gay with a injury time first half goal, and then Keane on the 81st minute. Palace with a 0-0 draw with Brighton. Brighton are a bit of a funny space at the moment. They're a little bit inconsistent, to be honest. They're 11th again. 1 point behind Palace. So draw kind of keeps them in touch. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in the last 5 games. It just seems like there's people are struggling to find their groove. And then finally, Nottingham Forest 3, Leeds United 1. Sean Dyche is getting the guys up there around to his tune. Sangare with the opener. For Forest replying to a Mecca goal from Leeds. Morgan Gibbs White, he seems to be picking up a little bit of form as well. And then Anderson with a 91st minute penalty. Right, that rounds up the Premier League weekend. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a better story for the league leaders and more misery for the Scousers.
Until
Peace.
then.